Alrighty, in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a crochet tapestry bag. I think the last few tapestry projects I've done have been for other people, and I love doing it for them, but it's really great to get back into my chaotic side and do something chaotic. Here's the plan. A few months ago, when I made the Blue Goose tapestry project for the Blue Goose Farms located in Ridgeway, Ontario, I love doing that project. While I was working on it, I kind of was thinking to myself, what color is a goose's beak? I went to the Creative Knitter, obviously favorite yarn store, because the yarn that I bought, or the yarn that I was using for the goose, I bought from there. Get the same brand of yarn or the same type of yarn to do the whole project, right? So when I was there buying the yarn, Julia was there, and Julia helped me. She works there, she's also my friend. She does knitting and crocheting. This will become important in a minute. Anyways, she's like, okay, well, let's look this up. Let's see what a goose's beak color is. She got on her phone and she typed in goose. And the first picture that popped up was this one. It was a goose and he was screaming. And I laughed so hard because I'm just like, what if somebody has a phobia of geese or of a goose? And this is the photo that comes up, right? That's gonna haunt their dreams. It's gonna haunt my dreams. What do I do with things that might haunt your dreams? I crochet them. I'm going to be crocheting a goose screaming with fire in the background. I do want to say this goose is not on fire. He is not screaming because he is in pain. He is not screaming because he's on fire. The fire is just behind him. When you see this goose, I want you to think of Dragon Ball Z, okay? That's the only way that I can describe it. It's like when they use their powers and they're like, ah, there's fire behind them. For effect, okay? To show that this goose is so chaotic and crazy and full of rage or madness, however you want to say it, that there's fire behind him to just express his emotions, okay? It's his emotional fire. Let's say he controls fire, so he cannot get burned, all right? So anybody who thinks, oh no, the goose is on fire, he's not. It's his emotional fire that helps with his emotions, to show his emotions, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. It's a chaotic goose with fire behind him, all right? Anyways, I told Julia this, and she's like, I want to do it, but she wanted to do a Canada goose. And I'm like, I can do that. She's going to actually be working on this project with me. So it's kind of neat. Usually I do projects all by myself, so it's gonna be really neat seeing someone else do it as well. I made two versions. I made my version, which will have fire and a typical white goose screaming. And her version is going to also be fire, but a Canada goose also screaming. For anybody wondering, both of these patterns will be available on my Patreon this month, because I can't just give you one and not give you the other one, right? You'll have options if you want to make this as well. If you are part of my Patreon, this is September's Patreon pattern of the month. Patterns! You're getting 2 for 1 this month, so hopefully you like them. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it. Do have to go through my yarn stash and look for yarn, because I don't want to buy yarn if I don't have to buy yarn, because I have so much yarn. Although I think I might have to buy black yarn, because my last project, the Beetlejuice one, I used a lot of the black yarn that I probably would have used for this, and because black yarn, like, I 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I made a Fall Out Boy sweater, and I bought the same brand of yarn, different dye lots, 2 different colors. And so I don't trust myself just pulling 2 different black yarns and thinking they're gonna work. I might have to buy another black yarn, but it's okay because I can use it for everything. But for the most part, I do want to just use what's in my stash. Without further ado, let's start making this chaotic screaming goose tote bag. First thing is I have to find the yarn, so I don't have to buy more yarn if I don't need to buy more yarn. I haven't moved anything from here yet, also, like, I am working on that. Hello. I know it's not done yet. I mean, it will be done by the time this video comes out, but not done for me quite yet. Okay, these are my warm tones. I want to use like this white. This is that antique white that I love. I feel this is more goose colors. I do have this one. I like this. I do need a pastel yellow. Is this pastel? Oh, there we go. But I want more of a pastel. I really don't want to go buy yarn if I don't have to. Well, I have this, which should be enough, but is that the red I want? I've picked the yarn, but I'm also not 100% sure what colors I'm using. So first off, this is for the fire, this is for the fire, this is for the fire. That is fire. It is fire. I never say that. This is the background. This is the goose. And this is also going to be the eye for the goose. So these colors here are for the beak and the tongue, which I just kind of forgot about yesterday, because I really don't need to think about them for a little bit because they're near the top of the bag. This is a no-go. This color is too close to this, and these colors will be like touching, so that can't work. This color here, the one on the right, it's just too close to the orange. Like it's too vibrant. Like these two colors together would look amazing. And I'm pretty sure I did make a pink and orange checkered. These actually might be, you know what I'm thinking? These might be, these two colors here, I think they're from my checkered sweater that I made. They look good together if that's what I'm going for, but I think I'm gonna go with this lighter pink, even though this is ever so slightly thicker. This is like the original Craftsmart before they switched over to Soft Classics. I made that pink vest, but I liked how I made it, but I just never liked how it looked on me. Anyways, I think that's gonna be the tongue just because it's a little piece, so it's fine. But for the beak, I don't know if I'm gonna go for this color yet or this color yet. Kind of thinking it might be this one, but then it also might be this yellow one. Or maybe I'll get another orange, but the beak is so like far in the future that I really don't have to worry about that right now. I'm just gonna start the project. I just want to show you how many bobbins I'm currently using, and then the white is actually the ball of white. I wasn't, because it's one white piece, so I don't need to like use a bobbin, thank goodness. Also, I do want to apologize to Julia. First off, she has been knitting and crocheting for years, okay? She is amazing at it, but this is actually her first tapestry project, and I apologize. I am so sorry, because this is probably one of my most intricate ones that I've ever made. And I've made like intricate ones before. This takes the cake. This is the most intricate one that I've ever made. Lots of bobbins going on, so that's fun. This has to be probably the most bobbins that I've ever had going on at one time. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because this is the ball of yarn, so that's the goose. 7. I need to start another one because I just finished one for this, so that'd be 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 bobbins going on right now. Again, Julia, my apologies. I don't know what I was thinking when I made this pattern. But update, I am almost at the beak. So yeah, not too much to really say about this at the moment. Yeah, I'll give a better update tomorrow when I'm a little bit further along. If you watched my last video, which actually comes out today, I did something to my camper. I renovated this half. I'll just give you a little look-see. I renovated all of this, and then I renovated this. Not so much renovated, just makeover. So I thought I would just quickly show you that because I'm in here. The reason why I'm in here is, one, I had to film a little update for my temperature blanket if you are a Patreon, but also I have to change the goose yarn a little bit. Why do I do this to myself? Why did I bring this out of the house? Look at this mess. Look at this mess. So here's the goose right now. It's all tangled. I really like how this fire is turning out. Like that looks amazing. But if you can't tell, right up here, there's supposed to be a beak, and I feel like this orange just blends in with everything else, and I was staring at it last night, and I'm gonna have to take it apart today because I really don't like how that looks. In person, like if you're up close, you can see the difference, but like from far away, I just don't think people are really gonna see the vision that I have. So I'm in here because I need to switch up the yarns. And now what's so funny is that the yarn that I think I'm gonna switch to is the yarn that I used for the blue goose. If you watched my yarn clean out, I actually had the Creative Knitter yarn in a different box or in a different bin, and then I went to an estate sale and somebody was selling these bins for $5 each, and I got 3 of them. The yarn I want to use is in here. Hope it's enough. I think it will be. It's this yarn. I keep using this yarn for everything. How does that look? Yeah, I think that's this color here is gonna stand out a lot more because it's more yellow than the orange, but it's more orange than the yellow. And compared to like what I already have, yeah. So I'm gonna switch to this one. And then for the tongue color, I think I might switch it as well. I might go with this pink color. Anywho, that is the update on the goose. I'm going to take it apart up to the bottom beak and completely redo it today. So that's what I'm gonna work on today, just that goose, and we'll see where we get. It's time to take it apart. I have to take it apart all the way to the beginning of the beak. So this is what it looked like before. I just don't like how it looks, so I'm gonna redo it. So this is gonna take a little bit, so enjoy this time lapse. I wish I could time lapse this. this is what it's looking like now. I'm pretty much exactly where I left off yesterday, or where I started today. I think the beak probably could have picked a different color. I think what should have happened is I should have used the fire as the beak color and the beak color as the orange in the fire. But you know what? This does look a lot better than the other one. I also changed the color of the tongue, and I think that tongue looks a lot better. I also think that maybe when it's like filled out a little bit more, it might be easier to see. We'll see how it turns out. I'm not entirely happy with this part, but I'm not going back again because I don't have any other orange that really could work. It is what it is. And like from far away, I think you can kind of see it, and maybe the second beak will really show a bit better. I don't know. Again, I only have half, I still have somewhere to go. So we'll see. Look, it's Totoro. Hi, Totoro. She's wondering what I'm doing. You knew that I was gonna film, and so you decided, hey, you know what I need to be? We all know you're the star, Totoro. Every time I'm crocheting, Totoro needs to know what I'm doing. Yes, you do. Oh, you're so cute. The goose is done. I have to say that the fire looks really, really good. And I just want to say that this pattern is not for the faint of heart. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. And if you like a challenge, then this is for you. And then, of course, you can always simplify it and maybe just do one color for the fire or two colors for the fire. That's fine. So what I'm going to do now is, even though I changed, I like the color of the beak better and I like the tongue better. They stand out a little bit more, but it doesn't stand out enough. So what I'm gonna do is, with the black yarn, I think I'm just gonna do a chain stitch bordering the entire goose. I'm just outlining the goose right now. So I'm just gonna do a chain stitch in black, just so that way the goose pops a little bit more. Also making me realize that I probably didn't have to undo this half. I could have left it the other color because I would have done a border anyways. It's fine. So that's what I'm going to do now, is just do a border, and then the front panel will be done, and the back panel is just going to be black. So that shouldn't take me too long. I feel like it needs the border, but this is what it looks like if you don't do the border. So I just came home from the fabric store, and I ended up picking this fabric here for the inside. It kind of looks like lava. It kind of looks like fire. I did actually want to look for one that actually had flames. There was a nice lady there who did help me, and she knew that there was a flame one. She couldn't find it, and if she can't find it, I'm not gonna find it. The closest one to having flames on it was a Hot Wheels one, although that would be kind of fun to have Hot Wheels inside of it. I digress. I kind of went with this one because if I couldn't find one that was fire, I feel like I'm wearing an apron right now, right? Would this be a cool apron? Focus on the project at hand. If I couldn't find one that kind of looked like fire, I think I would have just gotten a red, even though the main color of the bag, the background color is black, I would have gotten a red. But I did find this, and I did get half a meter, so half a meter folded in half. I never know how big to get this. I know I'm not gonna need this much fabric. I don't wanna not get enough, So I got this for the interior. So when you open up the bag, right? Flames, lava, what have you. And then I ended up getting this. Never remember what the name of this is. Nylon, it's a nylon strap, and I got 2 meters of it. I definitely don't need 2 meters, but in the past I've actually had not so much problems, but sometimes when I sew it, something happens and I have to cut it shorter, and then I don't want it to be too short. So I'd rather get more and have to trim it down than accidentally have it trimmed down and need more, right? So I got that. This is what it's looking like right now. Here's the thing. I thought the goose was going to be the main focal point, but the fire is so good. I kind of wish I had more flame this way, maybe less flame over here, like if this flame was here and this flame was there. I think the reason why I did that though is because this had a lot of like, it was very orangey, and then the orange would have really kind of been near the beak part. This is the back. Okay, it's a disaster. I tied knots and everything. I'm not weaving it in. This is a project for me. I don't care. And it's gonna be covered up by this fabric, okay? So as long as it's not coming undone, it's good. From far away, can you kind of see that he's screaming? Can you kind of tell he's screaming? I think I'm gonna redo this part of the beak in like, not take it apart, it's done now. With the sewing, because it looks a little like wonky right here, so I kind of want it to be more straight. So I think I'm just gonna fix that. It's kind of like very jagged and I want it to be more smooth. So I think today what's gonna happen is I am gonna take apart, like I'm gonna take all these stitches off, probably just cut and just pull it out and then redo it. But the front panel is done. So that's what it's looking like. I'm gonna finish the outline of the goose today and work on the back panel. I was really hoping to maybe get it done by tomorrow. I think Julia said her bag actually might be done. If not, that's fine. I think she's gonna be done before me anyways, but we'll see. Anyways, that's the update for today. I just don't like this yarn for the border because no matter how hard I try to like get it in a nice straight line, it's crooked. So I went to the camper and I found this gray, and I think I might do it in this gray because it's more of a shadowy color than the black, and then that way I can outline the whole thing, and because like when it gets to the black, it wouldn't outline that, right? So I think I actually might use this gray, and it is a thicker yarn by just a little bit. I believe this is Craft Smart Soft Classics. I think Soft Classics, but it's in this gray color. Just finished the border. I ended up doing a border here and like right here, just because it looked kind of awkward if it didn't have this border. I don't know, it just didn't look right. So that's what it looks like. Honestly, it's not bad. Is it my favorite thing I've ever done? No, I wish I could have executed it a little bit better. Again, color theory. Didn't do it. This is actually my first time outlining something. I think it looks pretty good. If I would have known this going into it, I'm gonna be honest, I probably wouldn't have made a border in the pattern itself, because I know that what that would look like, and I don't think it would look the way that I'd want it to. So I think that looks pretty good. I am debating if I want to do like an orange circle around the eye, or I might just leave it. I don't know yet, because like the orange could be like a little bit of neon and make it look a little bit more like it's glowing, you know? I think it looks pretty good. Like from afar, I feel like the goose really pops now with this border. And again, I just did back stitches. It wasn't that bad. Now I can work on the back panel, so yay. Now it is time for sewing. So back in the camper. It's honestly really nice to have like a spot like this kitchen table just for sewing. Remember when I would sew in my room, I would like pile stuff in front of it, yarn, and then I'd have to dig it all out and set it up, and I didn't have like a lot of room to actually sew. So it's nice to have my own little spot over here. I have not done anything yet. I do eventually want to do basically the same thing I did over there, over here. So today at Yarn Club, I finished the back part and I attached it together. Julia did finish hers and I saw it today and it looks so cute because it's so funny because it's like opposite colors. So tomorrow I'm going with my finished bag to the yarn store to meet up with Julia, and then we'll like show you our bags together. So anyways, it's now time to make the inside of the bag and to add this strap. I also think later on I will be doing a border, like a red border I think would look good. I always like doing like a little border on my bags. So there's that. Okay, so Julia, you finished your bag.
I did.
What does it look like? Look at it! Honestly, I I kind of do like the Canada Goose better than just the regular Goose.
And then like model it.
Yeah, look at that. So stylish. Just in time for fall.
Just in time for fall.
New York Fashion Week wishes it had this.
Yes.
Now you did something different to the back of your bag, right?
I did.
So let's see that.
So I did half double crochets because I don't have time for single crochets in my life.
Here's the thing. Again, mine's down there. You'll see in a minute. It's just there. Just a slow zoom fading in to black and white with rain starting and sad music.
And flips.
And flips. But I was like halfway done mine, the back of it. And then I was doing single, and then I saw the double, or the half double, and I'm like, gosh darn it, I should have done the half.
So much faster.
It did.
So much.
And then you actually crocheted your handle.
I did.
I normally don't because I don't feel like it. But
yeah, and I was bored and watching TV. So
there you go. Perfect. My yarn was just a little bit bigger than your yarn. So you can kind of see the difference in sizes.
Mine's a little bit small.
Just a little.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
She's still cute.
Still angry. Still full of rage.
Burning the world down.
Exactly. All right, and here they are side by side. So you get a better look at them. I really like the pink in the flames. Like, I think I went too intense with my colors. And so like this part kind of like blended together where you have like...
Yours is like just pure evil.
Yeah. Mine is chaos.
And mine is like chaos, but we cute. The only reason mine is pink is because I have 0 orange in my stash.
Yeah.
I am the complete opposite of you. I had too much pink in my stash.
And then Brittany's the opposite of both of us.
Yes. Yes.
And right here, there's like a little bubble.
Yeah, mine did too.
Yeah.
I actually steamed mine very aggressively.
Oh,
fancy, huh?
I did not steam mine.
I definitely steamed mine. It needed.
And then we also, if you haven't noticed, we both outlined ours. And what did you do for yours?
I did a chain stitch, so I actually like pulled up a loop from the back and then like went down into the fabric and pulled it up, so it chained on top.
Okay. See, I was kind of doing that. I was doing it with the black for a little bit. I'm like, I don't like it. And then I actually got like all the way up here with just like black, what I was doing here.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I needed like a thicker yarn, so I ended up using like this thicker gray yarn. Works a little bit better because it's less intense. The black was just too much against like the white.
Yeah, but mine, because there's so much black in it, it kind of just, it fit.
It does.
They cute, they screaming, they burning down everything.
Here is the finished bag. I mean, you did see it with Julia, but now I just kind of want to go over how the project went for me, right? Because it's me and I need to give you more information. If you watched this whole video and you're here now and you have not yet subscribed and you like chaotic things like this and crocheting and whatnot, why not hit that subscribe button? I think it took me around 13 hours to make. Probably would take me a little bit less if I didn't have to undo it, like undo this part and like kind of find the yarn and figure out. It probably would have taken me maybe 11 hours to make, you know, give or take. Looking at it, it's pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. I don't know. Some days I'm like, and other days I'm like, So first off, I do want to say that the color choices I picked, I wish I would have picked different ones, but I was really just trying to use what I already had. And that's the hard thing, is like the reason why you might be like, well, Michelle, why do you have so much yarn? It's because I never have the right color yarn for the project I'm making. This one, I probably should have picked different yarn. And it's not that this yarn was bad, but I kind of wish that like the beak here, this orange, I wish this was the orange in the fire, and I wish I would have picked a different orange for the beak, because then maybe it would have stuck, like it would have looked a little bit more dimensional and not so chaotic here, even though he is chaotic. I didn't want the project to be chaotic, even though it was. It was. The outline did work, and I think that going with that thicker gray yarn really worked nicely for this project. What I ended up doing is I started using the black yarn to do the outline, but because it was so thin, it didn't look right, and so I did go with this thicker yarn, and I think, again, that turned out pretty good. So I actually did something different with this bag than I do with a lot of my other bags, and mainly it was inspired by Julia, because her bag was done before mine and she actually crocheted the two sides together, and then I decided to also crochet the two sides together. So I put them backside to backside like this, and I just did a single crochet all the way around instead of using my yarn needle and sewing it together like I normally would, because I feel like when you sew things together, it kind of puffs out the edges. I'm trying to see if I have project here that I did that with. Maybe this one. Remember this bag? I bought fabric for it. I know I've mentioned this before, but I bought fabric to line it, and I still haven't done that. I had sewn this together, and so you kind of see how it puffs out a little bit on both sides, whereas this one is very pancaked together because I crocheted it together. And like, of course, the back, I just did single crochets. I will be asking Julia what she did for her back, so then I can add that into the pattern as well if that's what you want to do, because she did half double, and I don't know why I never thought about doing half double for the back. That would have been a faster idea. But I do like the sturdiness of a single crochet. It's just the back piece, so I mean, it doesn't really take that long to do because there's no intricate parts. I did do just a single crochet border in red. I did that before I had attached the lining in, but the two pieces were attached, and then I just went around and did this single crochet in the red. I also do want to say that this is not for the faint of heart. This is not a beginner friendly project. This is definitely intermediate, mainly because of all the switching of the bobbins, and if you're new to crocheting and you want to attempt this, go for it. Like, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying if you want to be frustrated with 1,000 bobbins, heed my warning. Because even for me, this was a little bit of a challenge. I mean, the pattern is really easy to follow. It's just the swapping of yarns and the bobbins and stuff. So, and like, I'm even comparing this to my very first project. So like, my very first tapestry project was the Hellfire sweater. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how that was my first tapestry project that I like came up with. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it happened. This one was far more chaotic. Just a little bit of a warning. Like, if you want a challenge and you want to be frustrated, this project is for you. I do love it though. I absolutely love it. Again, my version and Julia's version will both be on my Patreon. I think they're just going to be in the same file. So like, if you're looking for them, they're going to be in the same file. So if you download it, both patterns will be there. It's basically, everything is the exact same except the goose colors change, but the goose shape is exactly the same, if anybody is wondering. Also, while doing this, I'm like, why does this seem awfully familiar? It reminds me of that seagull meme. That dawned on me after. I'm like, why does this look so familiar? Because he does kind of look like a seagull. I mean, if you also want to make a seagull, he could be a seagull, whatever you like. I think I give this project a 7 out of 10. It's probably my lower rated project. Usually I always give everything an 8 or a 9 or a 10, but just because the color choices, I wish I would have done a little differently. I'm gonna give it a 7, but I really do like it. And of course, I love the inside of it. Like, that is so, I love that. I love how that just looks like when Gandalf was fighting that thing, and he's like, you shall not pass, and then he, you know, they fall down. That's what this looks like. So that's fun. The never-ending hit of lava and fire. Not only is he chaotic, crocheting it was also chaotic. It was chaos crocheting it. I do love him though. That will do it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.